Yeah, what's up, YouTube? This is me one more time. We're trying to apply the beginner Blender tutorial for the 3D graphics. Okay, so let's see. Okie dokie.
Can see the inside. Then I'll just scroll in like so until, yeah, and I'm just going to change this value until it looks in around. So I'm just
So yeah, we've lifted off the day before in the minor radius. Okay, so he's trying to do the major radius and then the minor
I
radius.
just need to change my minor radius until it looks somewhat like a donut. So I want to just
Okay, so here it is. We're going to cancel this object. We said we're gonna go Shift A, and then go to the mesh, and then torus, right? And add torus, and then we agreed on 0.1, and here, yeah, I knew how to do it. Now I know how to do it. I will just hover over this and go slide it in right and left. So where did he show?
orbit up, right, and around. So I'm just middle mouse moving so I can see the inside. Then I'll just scroll in like so until, yeah, and I'm just going to change this value until it looks like a donut. Now you can see as I move this, like it's going really quick and I can't get it on the right value. So when you're clicking and dragging on a value in Blender, if you hold down Shift, that will use smaller increments.
Let's
And that's
see.
another one you use all the time because it's,
Yes,
yeah,
it
sometimes you
works.
need small values and it's helpful to get smaller.
Yeah, shift. So we would hover over the mouse here over minor radius. We'd go here. We would hold on to the mouse, okay, and then go shift and then try to do this. Yeah, it works.
Increments like that. So that's pretty good. I might go with that. Yeah, about a 0.057. Okay. And then the other thing you can change here is like the resolution of the donut. You can go like really PlayStation 1 graphics, maybe. I'm going to keep it at 48, but I'm going to increase the other one.
So yeah, let's just do it like he did it for the sake of this. We're just trying to learn this, so let's just not complicate it. Okay. So 0.0. Okay. And yeah, so let's just say 0.5, 0.00, 0.057. Okay, cool.
One to about, yeah, let's go 18, like that. 16, 18. Yeah, we'll go 18. And that's just a little bit more resolution, and it's just going to help us a little bit later on when we start to shape
Yeah, so this is for the resolution part.
the donut. Okay, but once I've got that, I can just click off, and now those options are gone. We've committed. That's it. That is the starting point of our donut. Now, the next thing you're probably wondering is, it still kind of looks like PlayStation 1 graphics, Andrew. And that's because it has flat shading. So basically, there's two states for a mesh. There's smooth
Yeah.
shading or there is flat shading, and it defaults to flat. If you want to change it to smooth, you just right-click the object and then go Shade Smooth,
Yeah.
like that. And there we go. It's fixed. So basically, shade smooth without getting too technical. Anytime there is like two faces, it just kind of smooths out that point like fakery. So it's not actually adding any additional computation times, which is important, but it's appearing to the eye to be smooth. Okay, so
Yeah, so basically he's trying to do something here without adding too much computation time, which is probably just a way of saying just making it not difficult on the computer to process it and deal with it. That's what he means.
in previous donut versions, we would start making the icing, and although that's fun to make like dribbling icing, it can be a little complicated. A lot of users ran into their first roadblocks at that time. So instead, we're going to do something a little bit easier to start with and more practical, and that's to make a coffee mug. So we need to add in a new.
Okay, so I'm gonna go and make my own coffee now and then get back. Now I have brought in my coffee and let's continue.
Object, which if you can remember from before, it's the add menu at the top there, or the hotkey, as I like to use, Shift A. And then underneath mesh, you're looking for something that most resembles the object you're trying to create. No prizes for guessing, the cylinder. Okay, so it comes in very, very big.
Yeah, now we're adding another object plus this one.
It's add menu at the top there, or and more practical, and that's to make a coffee mug. So we need to add in a new object, which if you can remember from before, it's the add menu at the top there, or the hotkey, as I like to use, Shift A. And then underneath mesh, you're looking for something that most resembles the object you're trying to create. No prizes for guessing, the cylinder. Okay, so it comes in very, very big. It's completely engulfing our donut. So again, in the bottom left-hand corner, click that little add cylinder, and then I'm going to change the radius first of all, just to bring this back. You can like do this after the fact, like resize something, but it just helps to, at this point, see it all.
Yeah, so here we go. We're gonna go add, and then we'll go to tourists. Okay, let's see.
All together. I think I'm going to make it around holding down Shift and just kind of drag it back and forth. Yeah, about 0.13 or exactly 0.13. And then the depth, this is just the height around holding down this back. You can like do this after the fact, like resize something, but it just helps to, at this point, see it all together.
So where's this? Okay, let's see.
I think so again, in the bottom left-hand corner, click that little add cylinder, and then I'm going to change the radius first of all, just to bring this back. You can like do this after the fact, like resize something, but it just helps to, at this point, see it all together. I think I'm going to make it around holding down Shift and just kind of drag it back and forth. Yeah, about 0.13 or exactly 0.13. And then the depth, this is just the height of it. And again, you can change this later on, but just want to see it roughly the right size. The big one that's important is the vertices. And
so now he said we're gonna set up the radius to 0.13. Here I see there's major radius and minor radius, whereas in the video there's only here the radius. Okay. So let's see. Okay. Okay, so why would that be? Right? Why would that be? Yeah, because we didn't add yet the cylinder, I guess. Yeah, 1 second. Cylinder is added. Yes, makes sense now. So radius to 0.13. Okay. And also the depth, he set it up to 0.248, 0.24. Okay.
and we're actually going to make this look more low res. Now, why would we make vertices? And we're actually going to make this look more low res. Now, why would we make it look more low res? Because now it's obviously very jagged. The reason for this is that very soon we're going to be adding in something called a subsurf modifier, which adds over the top of our existing mesh. It adds more geometry, like it doubles the geometry and it kind of smooths it out. So actually, if you start too high like this, then you're adding like doubling that geometry and doubling it again, and then you can too high like this, then you're adding like doubling that geometry and doubling it again. Subsurf modifier, which adds over the top of our existing mesh. It adds more geometry, like it doubles the geometry and it kind of smooths it out. So actually, if you start too high like this, then you're adding like doubling that geometry and doubling it again, and then you can quickly end up with something that's too computationally heavy. So when you're working and you're going to be doing something subdiv, sometimes it helps to start like chunkier, low res. Anyway, just trust me and set it to 14.
Okay, so we're gonna trust this guy and we're gonna set it up to 14 so it wouldn't be an operational overload in the future. Okay, let's see.
Okay, great. So we've got another object and they are completely overlapping. So how do we separate things?
Yeah,
Some of you might already know this. You
that's
can
correct.
guess, right? Left-hand side there's a tool that looks like it would be able to move something. It's the move tool. So this is one way to move things. You activate that and you get this little gizmo. And look,
The
I can move a
the
tool that
move
looks
tool.
like it would be able to move something.
The move
It's the
tool.
move tool.
Yeah, this is the move tool. Okay. Yeah, it actually moves, but it's super annoying. Hmm. Oh, okay. Interesting. I want to delete that one. I don't need this, actually. I only need this. Oh, what did I do? This thing is so complex. Literally. So come on. Come on, man. No, oh yeah. Yeah, that's better. That's a little bit normal now. Okay, then.
So this is one way to move things. You activate that and you get this little gizmo. And look, I can move it and I can separate them. So this is moving things along the axes. You can also just drag on that, click and drag on that little white circle there. And then that's like freehand drag around. I will say most
Yep.
Blender users don't actually use and move things this way because it's a lot of effort every time you want to move something to like go to the sidebar, activate the tool, click it, move it. It's like most people don't do that. Instead, they remember the hotkey and the
Be-
hotkey to move
Believe me, Mr. Blender Guru, there are more harder things than this, but anyway.
in Blender, and you'll be using this a lot. So again, this is on my keyboard shortcut. It's all in there, but the hotkey is G for grab. Now, you will notice very quickly that when you tap G, the moment you tap it, you are already in the move state. So
Yep.
it's now attached to my cursor, even though I didn't click. Okay, so, and here's the other thing, my cursor could be on the other side of the screen, it doesn't have to be anywhere near the object. And then the moment you tap G, it's now anchored to that cursor. And even more, I think it's cool. When you go to the other side of the screen, it actually, your cursor appears on the other side. So it's just like an infinitely repeating thing there. But at first, this is like hard to wrap your head around because Blender does this for a lot of things, like not just moving something, but also rotating something. The moment I tap R, which is how to rotate something, or
Yeah, but
S, okay,
yeah, but the issue here is the problem here is when I click, let's say, okay, so I'm leave this here, okay, maximize. So now I'm gonna click on G, okay. Nothing happens when I click on G. Like if you're here, you're not clicking. If you're not clicking on anything, uh, and you click G, nothing will happen. You have to first click on one of them, okay. You have to choose one of them first of all, and then click G. You see? So let's just remove this. Let me zoom out. Let's say I'm here, okay? And then I click G. I clicked on G now. Nothing happens, you see? This thing, the mouse itself, sign, it did not change. First of all, I have to choose one of them, okay? Then, step number two, click on G, and then it works. So if I choose this, and then I go wherever. If I go all the way there, and then I click G, and then I move it, yes, then it will get moved. I can go to that axis, to this axis, to whatever axis I want. So that is correct, but wrong at the same time. Because first of all, I have to click on the object and then click G, and then, yeah, it's movable. So let's see. Let's continue. Keep that in
okay,
mind.
I thought I might as well just teach you all three at the same time. So G to move something, G for grab, R to rotate, or S to scale something. But you'll see in each of those states, the moment you hit the key, no matter where your cursor is, it's in that state. And that's actually a good thing because, as I said, the number of times you need to move things and rotate and scale things in 3D, if you had to every single time change the tool, then move your cursor over to it, click it, activate it, that's a lot of extra steps. So it's actually really cool to have this like just one tap key and it's already activated. Anyways, okay, so, but whilst I'm in the move state by tapping G, I can also lock it to a specific axis, just like with those arrows that you saw before. So just when it's in that move state, you tap the axis you want to move it on. So that's the X axis. The Y brings it back and forwards, and the Z is so just when it's in that move state, you tap the axis you want to move it on. So that's the X axis. The Y brings it back and forwards, and the Z is up and down. Okay, and that's correct. Blender is Z up, Y backwards and forwards. Different 3D applications have different things.
So that's very, very cool, actually. Let's just zoom out a little bit. You see both of those? So let's just look at this. So now I'm gonna click on, I've chosen this for first of all, and then I click on G, and then I move it, let's say here, okay, and then I leave it. And then let's say I wanted to flip it upside down. Okay, so I'll click on S, no, not S. I'll click on R, and then flip it upside down, okay? And then I'll just click on it again, and then R one more time. I want it to be okay. Look at that. Look at fucking that. Okay, fine. And then R one more time, and then I leave it, and then I click R, and then I leave it, and I click R, and then stabilized. I guess it's stabilized like this. Okay. And this guy, I want it also to be like this. I don't want it to be flat on the ground. I want it to be, let's say like this. Okay. No. Um, and then I will click on the mouse, and then it leaves. So you click on the R or the S or the G, and then you do whatever, and then you click on the mouse. You see? So it's the letter on the keyboard and then the mouse. Okay. And then the cool part is when you click on, let's say this big guy, okay? Let's say we want to reduce it a little bit. It's very big. This is huge. So let's just click S and minimize. Yeah, good. Okay. Then if I want to move this, let's say I want it to go up, okay? How can I make this thing go up? Like literally up, okay? So first thing is I'll click on G to move it, right? That's number one. Now it's movable. And that's step number one. Click G and then click on anything else. And then I'll click on Z axis. So how can I go to the Z axis? I should click on the letter Z on my keyboard. So I clicked on Z. Now I clicked on two things after each other, X and Z. Okay. Now if I move the mouse, I'm forced with the mouse to go up and down. I can't go, look, when I go like this, it doesn't move. The mouse doesn't move. I only can go forward and backwards, okay? If I want to leave it here, I'll just click on left click on the mouse. Now it's here. See, this is on top of this. So you see this is above this. Can you see that? Super cool, right? Super cool. Okay, cool. Let's just bring this guy back. So I'll go R, not R, Z. Yeah, G and then Z. So G, and then brought it down to normal dimensions. Okay. And let's say, so I'll just, no, come on, come on. Yeah. So, let's just bring this, nah, yeah. This is happening because I clicked on Z before G. So G and then Z, okay, okay. Now, if I want to get this to go, not up, we said up, G plus Z. G and then Z, okay. If I want it to go right or left, let me try, after G, let me try X axis. Okay, X axis goes like this. So what if I want that's forward and backwards? If I want it to go right and left, so what about Y? Oh, it's like magic. It's like magic. Good. We've learned something.
There's no like standard, but yeah, that's how Blenders is. And by the way, if you forget which letter is which axes, you can actually see them up there in that little circle there. So
Yeah.
again, X, Y, and Z. Anyways, I want to move this actually just a little bit further back right there. So I want my donut to be the front and center, and I want this to be at the back there. But then how do I change my view so I'm no longer just pivoting on my donut? I want to shift my focus to that selected object. It's number pad period. Or again, holding down that tilde key under your escape button and then hitting view selected is the same thing.
So let's try that. Because I think it's very important here to know how to navigate this interface. So let's say I'm here, I can see both of them, and I'm here, and then let's say, okay, so let's just zoom out a little bit. I want to zoom out. Nah. Yeah, so no, I want to zoom out a little bit, man. Anyway, yeah, so that's a little bit better. So let's say I want to manage this guy, not this guy, this guy. So I will click on the tilde T. The tilde T, it's a some weird um, thing on the keyboard that goes. It's this guy. You see? It's this. You see this? This is the tilde key. Okay, this weird thing. So I click on this, and then I click on the tilde T, and then I click on view selected, and now it kind of puts the focus on it.
Okay, so let's make this look like a coffee mug. So we have to edit this object, and to edit an object, we have to change what mode we are in. So in the top left-hand corner of the screen, there's a little drop down, which if you click, we can change it into edit mode. Okay, so when you're in edit mode, you can see the state has changed. The object that was selected now has a bunch of points and lines on it. And you'll also notice whilst you're in edit mode, you can't actually select any object. And it's worth pointing out this because this is a really common thing. A lot of beginners,
Yeah.
they say, I don't know what happened, but I couldn't select anything in Blender.
Yeah, it wouldn't
and
work.
usually it's just they're in the wrong state. They're in edit mode, they forgot, and then they tried to like come over here and then click something and they're like, why is it not selecting? Okay, so you have to be in object mode if you want to select an object. And if you want to edit something, you have to be in edit mode. But going to this drop down and doing this time and again would, again, be annoying. So Blender, of course, has a hotkey for it, and that is Tab. So Tab will just cycle you in and out of object and edit mode, just those two states,
Yeah.
which is great because you need to use this all the time. So you usually come in, do some editing, go back into object mode, select something else, edit that one, go back to this. So that's, yeah, good one to remember, Tab.
Yeah, that's easy, right? Tab.
All right, so in edit mode, when I'm in this state here, these little points here, these are called vertices. These are the points that make up the the shape of the mesh, obviously. And then you've got edges. And you can actually select by changing the selection type from vertices, which is the default, to edges, clicking that little button, and then I can click on the edges, or select faces, okay, like this. And again, Blender has hotkeys for everything. So if you want to just know the hotkey, it's 1 to do vertices select, 2 to do edge select, and then 3 to do face select. Again, make sure you get my keyboard shortcut guide.
So 1 second here.
Okay, like this. And again, Blender has hotkeys for everything. To edges, clicking that little button, and then I can click on the edges or select faces. Okay, like this. And again, Blender has hotkeys for everything.
So this is the vertices. Okay. Those guys. Okay. And those are the, oh, what did he call them?
By changing the selection type from vertices, which is the default,
yeah.
to edges,
This is the
clicking
edges.
that little button, and then I can click on the edges.
Yeah, those are the edges. Okay. Okay. The ones that are on the top though are the edges
or select faces.
or
Okay,
faces.
like this. And again, Blender has hotkeys for everything. So if you want to just know the hotkey, it's 1 to do vertices select, 2 to do edge select, and then 3 to do face select. Again, make sure you get my keyboard shortcut guide because it's a lot to remember. So I want to select the top of this cup here. It's got a lid on it that I don't want. So in face select mode, selecting that face, I'm going to hit X. Now it's going to ask me, what part do you want to delete? Which might sound redundant, but there is quite a lot of times in Blender you want to delete, even though you've selected a bunch of faces, you want to delete the entire vertices of those faces. So we have to confirm we want to delete just the faces from this list. And there we go. So we've now got a cup with a hole in it. Great. But this cup will not do. It is too paper thin. We could cut our finger on that edge there. So we need to add some thickness to this cup. And while we could do this in edit mode, like you could select everything and extrude it in and whatnot, we don't need to because there is actually a function we can do to add thickness to anything without needing to go into edit mode. And that is underneath your modifier stack here. So if you click this little wrench, this will activate modifiers. Let's just drag this out.
Yeah.
And if you click add modifier at the top there, you can see you've got a number of different options. And the one that we're looking for is
This is add
solidify.
This is add modifier. You would go here and then you scroll down until you see modifier, and then you click on add modifier.
So this is underneath the generate. And just in case this changes for a future version of Blender, you can also go to search at the top there, and you could just type in solidify from the list. Okay, so now that we've got that, you can see we've got a bunch of options, and you'll notice that our mesh now has some thickness to it. And I can change this thickness here. Now, watch what happens as I enter into edit mode. You will notice, as I select these faces here, I can't select this inside part of the...
Okay, how did he do this? 1 second here. So, okay, we added the solidify. How can we increase this? Oh, okay, so this thing. Thickness, yeah, it's called thickness. Okay. Let me just minimize a little bit.
Of the cup there. And that's an important point because modifiers are not actually adjusting the real mesh. So the real mesh still exists here. If I disable this from the viewport by clicking this little monitor button there, you'll see that my
Monitor button, where's the monitor button? We'll see. So, where's that? Render, edit, real time. So, where is that? Let's see this one more time.
I disable this from the viewport by clicking this little monitor button there.
Monitor button. So yeah, this makes the effect that we create disappear. It just not disappear. It doesn't remove it. It just like removes it from us being able to see it. You see, so
You'll see that my mesh has not changed. This is just applying this effect after the fact. So it's basically in object mode. It's taking whatever mesh that you give it, which is this, and then it's adding thickness to every face, essentially. So the reason this is so useful is that this is a non-destructive workflow. So I could, at any point, I could be doing a bunch of changes to my mug here. I could, we'll get to all that later on. We could change the size and things. And then later on, I can go, you know what? I think that's a little bit too thick. I'm going to change that. And I can come back to that and very quickly adjust it. So non-destructive, and it's obviously very helpful for a lot of things. Okay, so I've given it some thickness, but I also want to round this corner here.
okay, so that's enough for today. We've learned today how to increase the thickness. We would increase this guy. First of all, just make it normal. We would increase the thickness like this. Okay. So yeah. Yeah. You see, when we increase something so much, it goes out of hand. So let's say I want to increase the thickness of this guy. Huh. Um, so yeah, in general, That's what happens. Okay. And yeah, so just to make this review here, let's say we're here. We're gonna go to choose object mode. We're gonna choose this guy, and then we're gonna go to hmm, then we're gonna go to tilde, and then we're gonna go view selected. Let's say we want to increase the thickness. We're gonna go to modifiers, add modifier. Okay, and we only discussed the thickness of this, right? Right. So let's say I want to increase the thickness of another one. So I'll click on 3 on, okay, so what about if I want to object mode, what about if I want to edit mode and I want to increase the thickness of this one? No. Okay, so we'll see this next time. How can we increase the thickness of the other ones? And that was for today. Thank you for watching. If you have any advice, any comment, any criticism, any applause, whatever, write in the comment. Okay, write it in the comments and hit that like and subscribe button. See you next time. Bye.